Let me know when I can start. Good morning, members of the press. Thank you for coming here. I just came out of the Security Council briefing on Afghanistan. And I wanted to first thank India, under whose presidency the Council met very urgently on our request, and also our co-pen holders, Estonia and governments of Norway, and also members of the Security Council, to agree to such an informal or formal briefing. At the briefing, we also heard statements from UN Special Representative of Secretary General Deborah Lyons from Kabul, and also Shahzad Akbar, the chairwoman of the Afghan Independent National Human Rights Commission. They also gave graphic details of the situation in Afghanistan. The main purpose of the briefing was really to brief the Council about the severity and the urgency of the situation in Afghanistan. We are faced in Afghanistan with an invasion of foreign fighters. We are faced with a massive attack on our cities, population centers. We're witnessing a large number of displacement. There are thousands. In the last 3 months, we've had 300,000 people displaced. This is already adding to almost 500,000 Afghans who are displaced in the last 2 years. We have almost 18.5 million people, that's 50% of Afghanistan population, which are in need of humanitarian assistance. And at this time, we also have drought, COVID, while the Taliban and their foreign terrorist affiliate groups have launched or unleashed a massive attack on our country, on our population. And as we speak, there are attacks on big cities, in 5 cities in the south, Kandahar, Lashkargah, Herat, Ghazni, and also Zaranj in Nimruz provinces. These are large population centers. Any attacks on this will undoubtedly result in huge humanitarian catastrophe with large people killed. We have women and children who are displaced and they're in need of urgent humanitarian assistance. Also, we informed the Council about grave human rights violations in Afghanistan happening. We see the Taliban in area they're capturing, their summary killings, executions, as well as chopping of hands, stoning to death, and very egregious, the graphic of which would be very difficult to even show here to the media. If anybody's interested, we're happy to share them. These are violations of international human rights law, international humanitarian laws, and some of these will amount to war crime. So we expect the Council to step in and take immediate action and to avert further violation of the rights of our people, and also. So the Council was very unanimous in their demand and their call to stop immediately attacks against cities and also other parts of the country. The Council condemned these attacks. The Council demanded immediate halt and a call for a ceasefire, and also return to meaningful negotiation by the Taliban. Let me also here echo the Council's condemnation of attack on Unama compound in Herat city a few days ago, and therefore all the other attacks, including, sadly this morning, the head of Afghanistan Media and Communication Center, Dawa Khan Minapal, was assassinated. This is part of a pattern of Taliban's assassination attacks, targeted killing in Afghanistan in the last few months. We also witnessed a few days ago an attack on the house of the defense minister. So all of this are sending a very strong message to the international community and to us that Taliban are not interested in peace. Peace would require a time when guns are silent. Peace requires confidence-building measures. You cannot terrorize the population on the one hand, unleash a massive attack on cities, and then go to Doha and talk about peace on the other hand. So we hope that the international community take notice of this, bring Taliban and hold them accountable to their commitment and promises they have made, both with the United States in the Doha Agreement, but also with other governments and also in their public statements. Thank you.
From Al Jazeera. Thanks for speaking with us. You said that the Council should use all means at its disposal to compel the Taliban to stop its offensive and to get back to peace talks. You mentioned the statements, but do you think it's time for some stronger action, such as a resolution? And who do you see as having the most influence on the Taliban at this point in the Council?
Thank you. Well, we believe that there are some tools already at the disposal of the Council. We have the Security Council Resolution 1988, which is a sanction regime on the Taliban, and it has a large number of Taliban's leadership on that list. And therefore, I think it's important to ensure compliance and maintain that list, and to add additional people to the list who are currently actually leading the war in Afghanistan. We request and expect the Council to ensure compliance with Security Council Resolution 2513, which basically endorsed the Doha agreement between the Taliban and the United States government. There are very clear provision and commitment made by the Taliban that they will reduce violence, they will sever their links with the Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups, which they have not done it. As we speak, there are 10,000 foreign fighters supporting Taliban, and they are currently present in Afghanistan. So there are already mechanisms that could be strengthened, that could be monitored to bring compliance. We also believe that the Council there are members of the Council, certainly, who are meeting with Taliban, and Taliban are traveling to certain capitals to give them a strong message that what they're doing is unacceptable. We very much appreciate the unanimous call of the Council today, and also in previous statements, that no one will recognize a government that comes by force. No country will give legitimacy to that sort of a government unless it is democratically elected. And here, I think time and again, the Council have spoken. On the 4th August, a statement that came from the Council is specifically mentioned in the statement of the Council that they do not want to see the restoration of the Islamic Emirate. These are powerful messages that needs to go, but we hope that, yes, there are countries that have leverage and they can do more to stop Taliban's violence in the country.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Susan from WION News India. Have you and will you provide material evidence to the United Nations Security Council that Pakistan is indeed providing a supply chain for the Taliban?
Sorry, say the first part.
Have you or will you provide material evidence for the Security Council that Pakistan is indeed providing a supply chain for the Taliban?
Well, our government is constantly in touch. We've been providing evidence to the Pakistani government, and should the members of the Security Council want that evidence, we're ready to provide them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Michelle Nichols from Reuters. I guess a little bit of a follow-up to the questions we've just had. You've spoken about foreign fighters in Afghanistan and foreign assistance for the Taliban. Can you elaborate on that? Who is helping the Taliban? where are these foreign fighters coming from? And we heard a lot of warnings today about the country spiralling back into civil war. Do you think the country is already back in civil war?
Thank you. We have, of course, we shall be able to provide that if there is a desire. But what our own reports suggest that there are more than 20 foreign terrorist groups are operating, and some of them I could just mentioned Al-Qaeda, LET, TTP, IMU, ETIM, ISIL. I mean, these are all acronyms, but you can Google them and find out. It's not just that our government is saying this. The United Nations Security Council Monitoring Committee have also issued a report just recently in which they confirmed that Al-Qaeda is present in 15 provinces of Afghanistan under Taliban control. And also we've seen in Badakhshan, in Takhar, and Baghlan, these recent advances that the Taliban made were all done by the support of these groups. There are videos and reports are emerging that these fighters are already training and basically helping the Taliban, which should be of great concern to our northern neighbors in Central Asia, because some of them are, for example, we talk about Islamic Party of Uzbekistan, we're talking about the East Turkestan Islamic Party, which are also of concern to China. Let's not forget that these fighters are there for a reason for reciprocity. They will be they're helping Taliban today. Tomorrow they will be demanding a favor from the Taliban. So our concern is that Afghanistan once again, if not prevented, turn into a terrorist hub. We're also hearing reports of fighters trying to move from Syria, from other parts. What terrorists want, what extremist Islamic parties want, is a place, is a geography, so that they can use to launch attacks against other countries. So this is a warning, and I hope the international community take notice of that. Now, whether Afghanistan in a civil war right now or not, we say it is not. Because right now, we have a government that's a legitimate government that's defending itself against these vicious attacks that are imposed on us. Afghanistan could descend into a chaos when that government does not function or if it collapses. Right now, as we speak, our governments are delivering services, trying to maintain schools open, health facilities open, and provide services to the people. What we see on the other side is an insurgency. What we see there on the other side is a group that is deeply embedded with terrorist groups and trying to undermine and topple this government.
The Taliban offensive has moved very quickly. Are you confident that the Afghan army can stop them?
We're absolutely confident that our army would be able to withstand the additional pressure. We have a 6-month security plan to stabilize the situation. And not only that, we have seen an outpouring of support from communities and villages that were recently attacked by the Taliban. And also, so we have a lot of interest among the population to support the army. So we believe that we could stabilize and withstand the situation and further halt Taliban's advances. Let's face it. This is a war. There may be areas which would exchange places in the next few days or months, and therefore, so we will be defending ourselves. This is turning into a national resistance, as you can imagine. Thank you very much.